Sing it often. Remember how true it really is. You can't stop love. Just have to ignite it a little bit and away it goes. Yes. So in my life, I've been shown much grace in the big planned events of life and the small serendipitous moments. I've been granted much mercy through my blunders in life, which there have been a few. Those times when I've missed the mark. Talked about that this morning. I've been fortunate through all of my decades with encounters and experiences of life. And you, my friends, are an important part of those experiences. I count Unity of Augusta among my many, many blessings and those blessed moments. So I'm eternally grateful for having been drawn to this community from 65 miles down the road. And I'm very grateful for the weekly groups that have gathered. Sunday morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, yoga on Thursday, and how that has enhanced life for myself, and I trust for each of you that you have engaged in those groups, that life has become richer, that your relationship with the divine has become deeper and more intimate, that you have had opportunity to realize that transcendent nature of God. And if I've said it once, I've said it 10,000 times, that the realization that the entirety of the universe is supporting and honoring our highest good always. In those moments when we can see it, and even and especially in those moments when it's hard for us to see it or we're blinded to it. We've had a few Sundays together and shared some thoughts and sweet memories along the way. So I think that there's some things that I would like you to remember, and I'm hoping that you do, that we all always remember. Beginning with this, Psalms 139:14, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. This has been a really important passage for me. And in one of my very early messages here, I think it was when I was still guest speaking, so it was a minute ago, that I spoke about this passage, and someone escorted me over to the house to show me that this passage is prominently displayed on a wall in the house in a beautiful piece of art. For I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So I saw that there was some alignment here. And we shared that, fearfully, I don't live life in fear because I have the divine. But when we look at that deep meaning of fearful, the one that is like way down at the bottom in Merriam-Webster's list, awe. I am made in awe. I am made in awe and wonder. Now that's something I could get behind, because we are made in that image and likeness of God, which is goodness. So I am made in the awe and wonder of God. What a beautiful start. What a beautiful thing to wake up to every day, that we are made in awe and wonder. Hang on to that. Remember that always. Remember that on an easy day when everything's going your way, and on that day when nothing is going your way. Remember, you are made in awe and wonder. And how could it be any better than that? I hope that we always remember that there is power in the spoken word. We teach that we are co-creators with God, creating our world through the thoughts that we hold in mind and through the words that we speak. So what inspires your words? Are your words inspired by loving kindness and compassion? Yes, I hear them often. And are your words ever inspired by anger and resentment? Yes, that too, because all of that is in me. And if we're being honest, all of that is in everybody. We all are stirred to anger when we hear the news bites and see the news on television, when we see things happen in the world. You know, this very week, but yesterday, Saturday, I was driving down the road, and there was a car that thought that the yellow light, red light didn't apply to them. And there they were, blocking 3 lanes of traffic, and there we sat. I did not have lovely thoughts at that time. I had somewhere to be, and I was more than annoyed. So we have those thoughts. It's what we do with them. Do we act on those thoughts? And then months and months ago, Peter so graciously printed postcards and had them sent out. Think about what we say. Are our words true? Are our words true for me because it's what I believe, or are my words universally true? There's a difference. And it's not such a subtle difference either. It's a big difference. Are my words true because they are the political party I vote for, because there's a way I pray, because it's what I believe about women's rights, because it's what I believe about immigrants? Are the words true because of that, or are they universally true? Are the words helpful? Is it helpful for me just to spew my words because then I'm going to get all that hostile anger out of me? Or is those words helpful to anyone on whom they might land? Are the words inspiring? Are they lifting people up? Are they carrying people forward? Or are they dragging people down? We get to choose. Are our words necessary? I have lived long enough to know that not everything I think needs to be spoken. Some things just need to be kept to myself. And timing is everything. Depends on the audience, depends on, read the room, they say, Know how your words are going to land in the environment. And are they kind? Are your words, our words, kind? Do we have nice words, but say them with a degree of snarkiness? Or are they truly kind words, spoken with love? And what's behind them? So always remember, our words are formative and creative. Our words, backed by our thoughts, create our world. So what do we want to create? What do we want to leave for the next generation? And always remember, 70 times 7 equals forgiveness. That's new wave math, in case you were wondering. Yes. But forgiveness is a practice. And it's often said that our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, had a daily practice of forgiveness. That every day, at the end of the day, he would review his day's activities and see who he thought offended him, or who he may have offended. Oh my, we may have offended someone. That's ownership, yes. So notice what's on your heart and in your mind about the people you encounter throughout the day. And anywhere there's a place that you have put someone outside of your heart, or even on the edges of your heart, they haven't been quite kicked out, but they're not really deep in your heart. That's when we get to practice forgiveness. And there's many ways to practice forgiveness. Some people write letters which they never send. Some people hold the person that they believe has affronted them in light. And then there's 70 times 7. Remember the story when the disciples asked Jesus, how often am I supposed to forgive my brothers? 7 times? Jesus replied, 70 times 7. And we look at these numbers metaphysically, and 7 is the number of completion. So we forgive to completion. We forgive until there's nothing left to forgive. Now that might take 15 minutes or 17 years. It depends on how open our heart is to that process of forgiving. It depends on how deeply we feel and believe we have been affronted. It depends on how many layers there are to the occurrence. We forgive until we can look at the experience and gain the gift. See the morsels of goodness that we can garner from the experience, and even if we can feel grateful for the experience, because it grew us, it expanded us, it taught us. I want to say, and it feels important to say, that forgiveness is never, ever saying that what a person did is okay. Never saying that. Never saying that it wasn't painful, that it didn't hurt to the core. What it says sometimes is that what was done to me was so egregious that I just refused to allow it to inform and guide my life from here on. That's what forgiveness is. And I hope we always remember that we are one with our source. There's nothing that separates us from the divine, only our own ideas. There's nothing that can separate us from the divine. We are connected to that source always and forever. Only in our thinking do we feel separation. Only in our mind do we create a void. There's only one source, and by whatever name you call that essence and energy that moves in all creation, by whatever you call that which is the source of all love and the cause of all life, you are that. You are one with that. You are that. And that reminds me, and I just heard this morning, Father Greg Boyle. If you don't know him, look him up. He's an icon. He works with young people who have made some poor choices in life. And his organization lives with 2 statements. Everyone is good, no exceptions. And everyone belongs, no exceptions. Imagine what our world would be like if we recognize that kind of oneness with our source and with each other. And that brings us to this idea of Ubuntu. Whoops. I am because we are. It's an African word. It's beautiful in philosophy. I can't be without we. I don't exist without we. It's an amazing way to live when we recognize it's a we in everything. That allows us, this idea of Ubuntu allows us to set aside all of those markers that we use to sort and divide and separate ourselves. And sometimes we're told that not only is that okay, but that's necessary. It's not. We never need to divide and separate ourselves from any other human being, any other part of creation, the trees and the grasses, the bushes, the waters, the animals that creep and crawl. We are one with all of that. There is nothing that separates us from that. And I heard this today too, and I wrote it down on a Kleenex while I was driving. Very carefully wrote it down, yes. When we practice Ubuntu, when we set aside and let go of fear of what we do not know and fear of what we don't understand, we can stop othering. There is no other. There is nothing that is other if we choose to. And then we can live in that pure, perfect love that you can't stop. And we know that's true because Sakwi just sang it. Always remember that you are love, that you are made of love, that you are here to be loved, that you are here to give love. And we, being made of love, will return to love. There's no escaping the power of divine love. You can't run from it. You can't walk away from it. You are it. Everything that we do is sourced in love. And if you think you're here for any other purpose, please reconsider. You're here for love. Every other purpose is seeded from love. If you're here to teach, teach from wisdom and love. If you're here to serve, let all you do be done with love. If you're here to listen, listen with the ears of love. And if you're here to cook, infuse every recipe with love. When love is the foundation of everything we do, when we move from that presence and power and love, we are ambassadors of love. It's the divine love. And Charles Fillmore in the Revealing Word says this divine love is the most beautiful attribute of God. Love is that pure essence of being that binds us together, one with another, that binds together everything in the universe. Nothing or no one is left out of that circle of love. We in our mind might leave a few people out, not the divine. Fillmore says that when we call on that power of healing, when we pray for healing, we are calling on the power of love, because love heals. Love heals all manner of illness. Love is the harmony that keeps us together. Always remember, just keep going. Just go a little further. On May 18th of this year, Elliot's my dog. He's 10. And we set out on our daily 3-mile walk in the trails. And I came to a place where I needed to choose to take the short route, which I was really feeling that short route, or to go ahead and finish the 3 miles. And I actually stopped and paused, and something nudged me and kept me going on that 3 miles. And I knew Elliot was up good for it. And this is what I saw. A great blue heron was waiting for me. Yes, and the second picture, that heron mimicked the tree branch that had landed in the lake. So keep going. You never know what you're going to find just a little bit further down the road. Just a few more paces. You can do it. You've got it. So just keep ongoing. And finally, I ask you to always remember and always know that I pray for you and I pray with you individually and as a spiritual community. Many years ago, I came across this green velvet book, and in that book, I write all the names of all the people that I pray for. And you are in that book. No one ever comes out of that book. And I pray over that book each and every day. And on Sunday night, before my day of silence, I read those names aloud. Reading aloud names is very important to me. I've read names aloud of Holocaust survivors around the AIDS quilt, people who we lost to HIV and AIDS, people we have lost to gun violence, saying their names. On World Day of Prayer, we read aloud the names of people who we hold in prayer on that day. So parents, know that your children are written in my book by name, so I call their names in prayer. It's an important ritual for me. And finally, remember, we say it together every week, so let's say it one last time. Let all you do be done with love. God bless.